Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's Tyler Herro reveals Bam Adebayo's spot-on All-Star Weekend advice. As the Miami Heat face the Toronto Raptors on Friday night, the team comes off an All-Star break where they were represented by Tyler Herro. As the Heat guard went through his first All-Star experience, he revealed some advice that teammate Bam Adebayo gave him before the eventful weekend. Besides earning his first All-Star nod, Herro also won the three-point contest, which made him the fifth player in team history to achieve victory. Herro would tell Clutch Points after Thursday's practice that Adebayo, who is a three-time All-Star, that it would be a hectic weekend and that the 25-year-old should stay present and in the moment. Bam Adebayo told me was gonna be a hectic weekend, like just busy doing different things continuously every single day, Herro said. But I thought it was fun to be able to just be present, just be there with all the other great players, and former players. Zachary Weinberger asked Tyler Herro about the possible advice given by Bam Adebayo on being in the moment during All-Star Weekend. Bam told me it would be a hectic weekend, it was fun to be present like you said, be there with all the other great players. #Heat Nation. As Herro looks to make the Heat a contender once again, he is currently in the midst of his best season yet in the NBA, where he leads the team by averaging 23, 9 points and 5.5 assists to go along with 5.5 rebounds per game. This is all while shooting 46.5% from the field and 38% from beyond the arc, as he's also fifth in the league in three-pointers made with 189. With his performance from deep this season, Miami head coach Erik Spoelstra would say he was not nerve-wracking for him to watch, more so excited for his player. "I was able to watch with a couple of cold beverages," Spoelstra said. "I was just excited for him to be on that stage with a lot of eyeballs watching him. That's typically when he's at his best." Erik Spoelstra on watching Tyler Herro at the three-point contest. "Not that nerve-wracking, I was able to watch with a couple of cold beverages, I was just excited for him to be on that stage." #Heat Nation. There is no doubt that it was an emotional experience for Herro, as he has said before how being an All-Star was a milestone that he wanted to live up to. Winning the three-point contest was the icing on the cake and was indicative of the career he has had, as Spoelstra reflects on what he told the star when he first got drafted in 2019. "It probably must have been very surreal," Spoelstra said. "He had big aspirations coming into this league. He continues to have a strong ambition. I've always respected and wanted to honor his ambition. I told him that the very first time I met with him after the draft, that I would coach him, try to guide him, and develop him to be able to accomplish some of the things that he wants to accomplish. But I think the best thing about this year is he came into this season just with a clear mind that he just wanted to help the team and fill a role, impact the game as much as he could possibly do it." NBA makes Warriors announcement for Jimmy Butler's return game against Miami Heat. The Golden State Warriors needed to make a bold move at the trade deadline, and they did just that. While the initial move general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. tried to strike fell short, he remained keen on making a move. Had Kevin Durant not been against a mid-season trade, the Warriors could have seen the 36-year-old superstar return to the Bay Area. Instead, Golden State landed disgruntled Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler, who had requested a trade over a month prior to the deadline. Upon his arrival to the squad, the Warriors have been solid, posting a 3-1 record with Butler on the hardwood. In those 4 games, the Golden State forward averaged 21.3 points per contest. Stephen Curry finally got his much-needed co-star, as the team had a subpar record at the deadline despite a scorching hot start to the season. With the Warriors feeling the urgency of Curry's career coming closer to an end, they're banking on the pairing of the legendary guard and Butler to help give them one more title push. Along the way, Butler will have a matchup against the Heat to prove he was the true winner of the trade. That game will now be aired on TNT when it's played on March 25. Athlon Sports Grant Afseth shared the league's announcement on X, The replacement for TNT is the Golden State Warriors vs Miami Heat game matchup, which would be Jimmy Butler's return game, Seth shared on X. With over a month until the contest takes place, Butler and the Warriors will be able to find form while the Heat try to build around Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. Golden State is currently 28-27 on the season and is in the thick of the playoff race, looking to avoid the play-in tournament. Tim Hardaway says every time players leave Heat, they realize they should have shut up and stayed. Star forward Jimmy Butler recently became the latest star player to end his stint with the Miami Heat on a sour note. After he requested a trade out of Miami and was suspended multiple times by the organization, the Heat granted Butler his wish and dealt him to the Golden State Warriors earlier this month. Former Heat star guard Tim Hardaway may or may not have been talking about Butler directly, but he recently made some interesting comments about players who leave the franchise. He said that every time somebody leaves the Heat, he realizes the error of his ways and that he should have stuck around. You gotta have a mind, Hardaway began on what separates Heat culture from the rest of the NBA. You gotta have a strong mind for Heat culture. You gotta understand that this is not playtime, it's serious time. When you walk into that arena, all that other bulls is out the door. We here for business. We here to win. Pat, Riley, you'll come into practice, and you know it's just serious. But see, me personally, I like that. I like to be prepared. I like to be ready. I like structure. I like that. And every time somebody leaves, they be like, damn, you know what? I f up. I should have shut my mouth up and stayed because I'm missing the structure. But it's not like he instills it in you because when you get there, you already know it's about business, and it's about paying attention to detail. I just love going to practice. I love how he went about his business around there. And it's gonna be his way. It's not gonna be your way. It's not gonna be your way. It's gonna to be your way. Now, if you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it's not gonna benefit you, okay? You gotta be all in. If you all in, you could deal with all that other s. But if you 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you gonna always be skeptical, and you not gonna win, basically. And you not gonna get what you want. And you not gonna be out there playing for a great organization. The retired 5-time All-Star didn't mince words when reflecting on the Butler trade saga earlier this week. He referred to the 35-year-old forward as a crybaby. Hardaway spent 5+ seasons of his playing career with the Heat and earned a pair of All-Star nods as a member of the team. He was part of a deep playoff run as Miami's starting point guard as well, as the Heat reached the 1997 Eastern Conference Finals after they won 61 games in the 1996-97 regular season. Butler's trade out of Miami marked the continuance of perhaps a disturbing trend of great players departing the team. Guard Dwayne Wade, forward LeBron James and big man Shaquille O'Neal stand out as 3 of the more impactful players in the history of the franchise, but they all had exits from the team at some point. O'Neal didn't even last 2 full seasons after he helped the Heat win their first title in 2006, as he was traded to the Phoenix Suns midway through the 2007-2008 campaign. As for James, he was key to Miami winning back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013, and Miami reached the NBA Finals in every one of his seasons with the team. Still, he rejoined the Cleveland Cavaliers in free agency after the Heat came up short against the San Antonio Spurs in the 2014 NBA Finals. Wade, meanwhile, was thought by many to be someone who would spend the entirety of his pro career in Miami, but that didn't come to fruition. He signed with the Chicago Bulls after he was a member of the Heat for more than a decade. He did eventually return to the franchise before retiring. And you fan? What do you think of Tim Hardaway's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.